Good morning, and welcome to today's episode of More Than Just Task Management, your favorite daily podcast that helps you build a thriving business with me, Anna Angelova, a business coach and consultant, and Joris Minusfand, my co-host and business consultant. Morning, Joris. Happy
Good
Monday.
morning. Good morning, Anna. Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. What a beautiful day we woke up today. Uh, yeah, the weekend was great, and we're starting a beautiful week, work week. And today we're going to talk about digital readiness, something that has become extremely and maybe untimely mission critical for even small and medium businesses.
And I would say actually not even, especially small and mid-sized businesses, right? In today's
Mm,
world, and it's not just like when we talk about digital readiness, right? It's not having a few like tools like a software or automating like some of the tasks. Like it really through
mm.
digital readiness allows your business to stay adaptable, allows your business to be efficient and competitive in today's world.
Yeah, you're so true. Very true. It's basically what do we mean by digital readiness is the ability to leverage technologies, systems, and data effectively to be able to grow the business or improve whatever your goal is, and to be able to, uh, I guess, operate and survive in 2025 and in the stream of the AI and data moving forward. And what we mean by this, it doesn't mean, oh, I have five people, I'm going to fire four of them. I'm going to bring technology and replace, and that's efficiency. No, that's not what it means. What it means is to enable data and automated systems to get your people to do better things, smarter things, creative things. You can allows you to, and we're implementing this for one of our clients, allows you to 10x your business if you want, and have that confidence that you can 10x and 100x without having issues.
And I would say also, like when we talk about digital readiness, right? One of the key parts, in addition to what you said about leveraging technology data, uh, when I talk about digital readiness, the biggest part for me, and I know we'll talk about adoption on Friday, but it's actually the mindset. It's actually um, the processes and culture that you already have. Like, and it all starts with you as the business owner, your own mindset. Like, are you ready for that step, right? Like, do you embrace change? Do you embrace growth? Or are you afraid of technology? And I mentioned yesterday, last Sunday, we were chatting with someone, like he's building a few automations for small, mid-sized business, right? And
Yep.
the owner is freaking out.
Hmm.
It's like you're giving the owner something that's automated, something that shows them like a report or something like this that shows them where their business is, and they freak out that they don't want to do this. They don't want to have the technology, right? Like they don't want to have the report. They don't. It's like so. It all really starts with you as the business owner. So when we talk about uh, digital readiness, it's really like, are you ready as a business owner? Do you embrace this or are you fighting it? Are you resisting it? And while resistance is normal, and I've been going through the Love Being program with some fellow coaches, and it's so interesting. In one of the first segments of the program, Bruce D. Schneider shares, like the founder of IPEC and creator of the program, what he says is that we don't want to change. We want the life after the change. Like no one wants to go through the process of changing. We want to live the life after we have the change already. So
Yeah,
it's
that's so true.
normal to feel resistance. Yeah, it's human nature to feel resistance, to
Hmm.
not want to change, but to want to your business after things have changed, right?
Mm. That
So
eases the pain of going through. Every change has pain, right? There is,
of course,
uh,
of course.
and it's not just pain of you're going to have physical pain. It's a pain of getting used to a new routine. It's the pain of having to do things a different way, right? And our minds are already, they're mapped of things that we do every day. And then it's the fear of, oh, I'm going to go in tomorrow and I'm going to flop by 10 a.m. because there's this new report I have to read and interpret and act upon. So yeah, the mindset is very important. Process is also very important because when you automate processes and they're doing the wrong thing, and there's a human that you don't know it, but there's one of your employees that fixes 85% of it after it's gone wrong, you automate that thing and it will literally bring your business down. So you have to, part of that readiness, you need to review your processes and make sure they're ready for automation and digital world.
Uh, this is actually, I think, a very good segue, Jores. You already started talking about it a little bit. Like, what are, and again, you have so much experience in this area. What would you say are the main areas, the main pillars, let's say, where uh, business owners can look at and see, are they digitally ready? Like, are they ready? Is their business ready for digitization and
And
digital?
digital
Digitalization, yeah. So,
and digitalization.
yeah. So, and you already, I know we already talked about the mindset, the owner's mindset, and
Culture and process. Yeah.
yeah, we talked about process. So one is
Yeah.
again the people, the culture, your own mindset, right? Like we already talked about. Uh, are you ready for this? Are you embracing it, or are you afraid of the digital tools and things like this? Joris, you already mentioned processes, workflows. Like if you're doing something inefficiently, ineffectively, like if it's an inefficient process where like you're doing something that shouldn't even be done, like automating
Yeah.
it will not make your life easier and will not help your business grow.
Yeah, it may even slow you down. Yeah, those are the
Yeah.
two pillars. Yes,
What
people,
else?
culture, and processes. Technology infrastructure is another one. Are your systems modern? If you're using a notebook for accounting and you don't have an online accounting software, then you're not ready. If and so look at all of your systems. Are they modern? Are they integrated or integratable? They don't have to be integrated already. Part of your digitalization, you will integrate these systems into each other. So check your systems. Are they integratable? And or are you just you have an Excel sheet here and then you print it and put it on the wall on every Monday morning. So look at your tools that you use. The accumulation of those tools are called your technology infrastructure. Do all your people have laptops and screens, or some of them still use a paper? Is your technology infrastructure secure? You don't want to get hacked or go down, or you 3 weeks after digitization, you come to work and none of the laptops or desktops are working. Oops, what happens now? I'm down one day. We all know how critical our small every hour is to a small business. So all of these accumulation of all of these is your technology infrastructure. You have to make sure that is all in place before you start depending on it. Some companies, larger companies, they go disaster recovery. So what happens? You come in and the entire plaza is flooded or frozen. The heat broke and all your systems. What do you do now? Where is your data? Oh, all of us started relying on these things. Oh, where is it gonna? You walk out. Can you go to the local Starbucks and at least have a couple of your guys with small laptops or their phones just to answer calls and get some of your business going until you get your systems back up and running? So those are things that you need to think about. Technology infrastructure. Do you have anything to add to this one, or should we go to the last one?
Uh, well, the only thing that comes to my mind is that these are all great examples, right? With technology infrastructure, having the tools, like are they secured, can they be integrated, and all these things. And the examples we are sharing right now are more towards businesses that are uh, service oriented, that like people work with laptops and but how about like even if you have you are the coffee shop, right? Like even if you are the coffee shop, not might not be the Starbucks, but like a local coffee shop,
Mm,
right? And
yeah.
Joris, like you said, the whole plaza doesn't have power or something like this, or something happens that if you don't have power, you don't can't even make coffee, right? So
Yeah.
you can probably sell some of your muffins or things like this, but even there, right? Thinking about not just thinking what it looks like when everything is smooth, but also what happens in the exceptions, because it happens, right? You mentioned, I know that it was like probably a decade ago, even more, when you went to a store, a coffee shop, and their post terminal was not working, so
Yeah.
they actually didn't charge you.
Which is the
So
law in US. Yes,
yeah, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. So
Yeah.
digital readiness comes with, yes, like the technology infrastructure, are your systems ready? But then also thinking about the backup, thinking about, okay, what happens if the system is not available? Like, what are the processes there? And that's why first we talk about processes, right? So this is
Yes.
just what I wanted to mention, that even if your business is relying on, like, you have some kind of a store, right? You have some kind of a store where you have people working at the counter, people doing other things, or you are in manufacturing and things like this. Digital readiness applies to everyone, right? It's not just to people working with laptops, right? It applies to everyone, even with people who, like, again, manufacturing business, like you're making furniture, or you are preparing nuts and bolts and things like this. Like, it applies to everyone.
Well, 100% disaster recovery, part of the digital readiness. Depending on your site, the bigger you get, the more. And I have seen so many companies in the past 30 years that I've been in the industry where they are not ready for disasters. So we'll be
And
talking about those. Yeah.
I know, but it's so funny when you see those memes online where, like, our system is down, and like, okay, so where? What about the DR, right? The disaster recovery thing.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
oh,
They
and it's
mentioned
like,
about
oh, it's on the
backup.
same
Yeah.
server. It's like,
Yeah. I actually, very anecdotal experience. I think it was more than 20 years ago, and I'm not aging myself. Our company, I was doing part-time consulting for technology consulting for a company, and they called me. I was on the road. They called me. They said, "Oh, can you go meet this?" They were a $5 to $7 million medical supply company, where complete mama shop, papa shop. I think they had 15 employees. They were in the Woodbine and Steeles area in Markham in the north of Toronto. And I walked in, and then the owner president, he came in, he greeted me, and he said, I said, "Where's your?" We call them server room, and he started laughing, and he said, "Well, when you see our server room, please don't judge us, because this is what it's transpired." So he actually walked me through to the company and all the way to the washroom. And they literally, their server room was a server, a big tower that was sitting in the washroom with the side open, where people would wash their hand, and then they'll go like this with the water going inside the computer. I looked at it, and I turned around and walked out. And he said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I don't think I can help you, because if I touch that thing, we become reliable. We become responsible, and you have your entire system is a disaster waiting to happen." So what this meant, he said, "Well, why?" Then afterwards, we did help him out afterwards, but I told him it's because he said, "Why do you think our server computer is in the washroom?" I said, "Because you think of technology as shit." He said, "Oh, well, that's a good analogy. I think subconsciously I do." The owner didn't even want to have this system, this computer, and they hadn't had backups for weeks, and they had all this accounting system with no backup, no paperwork, no paper trail. And anyways, it was an absolute example of what not to do. And I wish, and I could have made a case study out of it, how not to screw up your $5 to $7 million company, where he would go literally, he was hanging by a thread. His entire operation, $7 million a year operation, was hanging by a thread. So yeah, if you're
It's
not,
a great. I love the idea, by the way. A case study how not to screw things up, right? So this is
oh,
a great
this
idea.
company
Uh,
would have been without mentioning. I don't even remember their name anymore, but probably not even the way he was headed. I don't think they will be even around even today. So
yeah, who knows? Who knows?
yeah.
Uh,
Anyways, so this is the third pillar, and the fourth pillar is what that technology infrastructure serves you, and that's data and insights you get out of data. Are you to even today, even if you're on pen and paper, are you somewhat using that data that you have accumulated, whether it's in your head or wherever, to make informed decisions? Or are you just guessing? I think we talked about it yesterday. I know a few days ago we talked about gut feeling. Don't guess, use your gut feeling. But what data does, it actually validates your gut feeling. You don't have to guess anymore. And then we don't want to go too far into the details in this session because we're just talking high level. We'll be talking more about this. I think it's Friday. We're talking about KPIs. Uh, do you have even access to the data when you're building all of this? Do you have access to the data to, and they always talk about real time, non-real time. I've been building data systems for the past 20 years. I still maybe have had one or two occasions where the data was needed near real time, not even real time. So uh, we will demystify real time as well soon. But do you even have the access to the data that you need to make those decisions? And then are you using it the right way? So build the technology infrastructure. You have all the people and processes that use and feed that technology infrastructure the right data, and then use that right data for making the right decisions to 10x your business, improve customer happiness, whatever your goal is, because that's what we will do. We will cater your data insights towards your goals. It's not just one size fit all.
oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's yeah. There are things that apply to like certain verticals and industries, but it's also uh, very unique. Like we are all unique people, unique companies, and it matters. Like, making it your own matters. And just to quickly summarize, so when we talked about digital readiness, Jores, we just mentioned like the four areas that are really pivotal and key, like critical. And we actually started with naturally people and culture. Are your people ready? Do they embrace the change in technology or not? Then processes and workflows. Are your processes actually optimized and ready for to be digital, or like what's going on with your processes? And then from there, it was the infrastructure, technology infrastructure, like the systems you have. Do they talk to each other? What's going on with your system, software, tools like this? And then the last one was the data and the insights. Like how are you using it? So these are the four ones, and what we've seen, right, as we work with our clients and throughout our careers as well, there are a few flags that red flags that we've seen. So first and foremost, resistance to change. As I said, like this is something that is so human, so natural, that even when the change leads to doing things faster and better, people say, no, I'm not clicking this button. So it's normal, it's natural, and this is why we come in, right? As consultants, as coaches, this is why we come in to help. And this is the most important one. Like if your people are not on board to, and you are not on board for this, it will not happen. You fail. It's doomed.
Oh, yes.
So the first red flag is the resistance to change. The even the subtle uh, cues that your team is giving you, like nonverbal cues when you talk about some of these things. And even I loved what you said, like that example that the server is in the washroom, because subconsciously the owner thinks it's shit, the technology is shit. So really thinking not just your people, but also you as the business owner. Take a good look at yourself in the mirror and be honest. So this is the
Absolutely.
first red flag.
Yeah.
Then
And there are two reasons for that resistance. I just wanted to touch point on this. There are two reasons for that resistance from my perspective, a few, but two of them. One is fear. Can I use this technology? Oh my goodness, what is this technology doing? And it's going to come and first of all, can I use it? And if I don't use it, I'll lose my job. I have to learn, and then is this going to replace me? In 6 months, if I embrace this and I take this in 6 months, my job is done. My boss is going to fire five of us and take this report and replace us. And then the other one is that inherent human, the reason we get used to habits is because we're lazy. So people don't want to learn new things. Paper and pencil is working. I don't care. I don't want to do it. So those are the main reasons. If you want to make sure that your team adopts it, those are the things that we will come in and help you get over.
very good point. Like, yeah, fear and laziness are huge. And like you said, we'll have other conversations where we'll dive deeper into these topics.
Yeah.
I just quickly want to mention a few other red flags that at the top of my mind. So another one is you already have the data, right? But you're not using it. Like you're not doing anything with it.
Mhm.
Or that you feel a third one is like your team feels overwhelmed instead of empowered when it comes to um,
Technology.
technology, right?
Yeah.
They feel
Yeah.
overwhelmed instead of empowered. This is a red flag, and that we often see. And the last one I want to mention is Joris, you already mentioned with the tech infrastructure in a way. Yes, you do have different systems, but not only they don't talk to each other, they are not like, easily, like you can't easily configure them to talk to each other, right? Like this is another thing we've seen where
Integrate.
they're so different and so like one might be an old one written in the 80s of the last century, and there are
Yeah.
businesses who still operate on things like this, right? And
Mhm.
then another one might be a brand new one that you just bought, SaaS, like software as a service
Yeah.
tool. So these are four flags that we see, and of course there are others. But what I'm thinking now, in the interest of time, and
Mhm.
again, we can talk about this like all day long.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
if you want to share a few simple steps to boost digital readiness, just so our listeners, our viewers can actually sit down and kind of see, okay, where am I? What's going on with my business? Are we digitally ready or not?
Mhm. Sure. I think the and you and I we always use checklists and we're very organized. I think one of those one of the things would be if you want to create a checklist is make a checklist of all your tools that you have and what's working, what's slow and chunky, and like you said, built in 1985 and doesn't do what it's supposed to do fast enough. And all very important also to identify areas of duplication of effort. If there are manual or processes that cause duplication, identify those. And then second one is processes. Make a list of your processes, write them down, whether it manual on pen and paper or in a Visio diagram or any kind of diagram. Uh, uh, Plan out your processes and then simplify them, because complex processes would require complex infrastructure, complex systems, which it won't may help you achieve what you're trying to achieve, which is automation and simplicity. The third one is to empower your people. uh, you need to, if you're planning to deploy certain technologies, you send your people for training ahead of time. One thing that I lived this in all of 2018 and 2019 prior to COVID destroying everything for us, was I traveled through Canada and US for workshops. We would take latest technology, reporting technology, and go to our client. They bring 20, 25 people, 2 days of just demystifying what the technology is, what it does, show them how to use it, asking them bring their own data and Excel spreadsheet to show them how to convert it, to simplify it, and make them confident. The more confident they are, you demystify, and this is some problem that we have. I know I'm going on a tangent. All of these technology companies, they make these things so complicated to sell, products more expensive and consulting time. We will demystify all of this for you. So you can also demystify these by simple trainings. And there are a lot of online training as well. You don't have to have your people to go away for days to get trained. And then you can also bring training. If you're big enough, you can bring training to one of your Fridays. And then the most important one that we should never miss is a shift, the mindset. You need to frame your digital readiness not as a one-time project, but as an ongoing responsibility for all of you. You as a leader and your team as adopters. And you have to also let your people know this is not a one time. Once we put in technology, new things will come. And this is what I've seen so many times where 2 weeks after we implement a piece of technology, we get called back to the client and say, oh, can we do this? Can we do this? Oh, by the way. Make sure that your team, yourself as a leader and your team are ready for that shift of mindset. Start thinking like, wow, what else is possible after this, and you will see how people will adopt it. It becomes takes a life of its own if it's done properly.
Yeah, it's a journey. It's a journey. It's not a one like done. You do it once and it's done. It's a journey, and viewing it as a journey, viewing it as a process of learning and growth is how you want to have your mindset and your people's mindset, right? Because the other mindset, Joris, you were mentioning fear and laziness. These are like level 1 and 2 from the energy leadership framework. So awesome, awesome. And for today, I would highly recommend for you to sit down and even if it's just for 15 minutes and you just pick one area, right? You might pick your people and culture, including yourself, starting with yourself, and audit it. Like, where are you? Are you ready? Like, where's the mindset? Where's the culture? You might pick processes and workflows. Like, look at one of your processes and see where is this process. Should you even have this process? Actually, don't start with, oh, how do I optimize? The first question you need to ask is, should I even have this process? Is this process even relevant? Does it even make sense? And you might pick the infrastructure, right? Technological infrastructure, like to look at the tools you have, or you might audit your data and your reports and KPIs and things like this. So even if it's just taking 15 minutes to sit down and review one area, one tool, one thing, and then see an improvement that you can make this week or this month, this is a great step you can take today. And actually, one other thing I would highly encourage you, I will add the link. So the link will be in the show notes, in the description of the episode, to our quiz. We have a quiz, how future ready is your business, that will also give you an understanding of where your business is at and how you can move forward with building a thriving business that creates prosperity for yourself as the business owner, your team, your employees, your family, and the community you are part of. Because we small business owners, like the small businesses, mid-sized businesses, like we drive the economy. We drive the economy, and we are also the heartbeat of our communities. Like the coffee shop, the ice cream parlor, right? Like these are all like where the community gathers. The community comes, and like the restaurants and like all these places, right? So. Go ahead, take the quiz as well. The quiz will be quick, right? 5 minutes or so, not even. So highly recommend to start the week with a little bit of retrospection, introspection, and see where you are and what steps you can take to keep on growing your business, to keep on building on the legacy you are building. And as usual, we are here for you every single morning. Now we'll be live 7 a.m. Eastern time. So if you want to catch us on the Plandor channel, you're more than welcome. We'd love to see you live and even chat with you. And yeah, subscribe, like, comment. And Joris, thank you for such an insightful and amazing session. I know we can talk about this for hours and hours and hours. So thank you so
Yeah,
much. And I
you're
know
welcome.
tomorrow
Thank
we
you
have
for
another
having me.
wonderful conversation.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your Monday.
Bye.